Hello. Go ahead and start to set up your space. Be great to have space to move in. I have my little Aries altar behind me. So you really just need comfortable space to move. If you want to have a journal and pen, you can always have that. And then for the little mini ritual at the end, the recommendation is to either have a box of matches with matches and working striker, or a lighter is fine. I also have my card that I pulled, a little candle, and some citrine, which all sort of connect to that fiery energy of Aries. So if you need to take a moment to gather those things and then come back, and of course, make sure you have some water or tea or anything else that you want. And I'm going to start to tune in. So the moon is waning in Aquarius. So we'll be moving towards the new moon on April 1st, Pacific Standard Time on April 1st. And actually today with the moon in Aquarius, with it waning, we have a lot of different energy happening. We actually have the moon, Saturn, Venus, and Mars all in that Aquarius energy. And actually the moon will be conjuncting Venus in this energy tomorrow, the 28th, it's the 27th as we're practicing together live today. And it's a big deal. There's also some asteroid energy in there as well. And so that's a strong fixed air element, being the revolutionary, the visionary. So there is, even though we're officially in Aries season and this circle is dedicated to Aries, and actually Mercury moved into Aries today. So we have the sun and Mercury in Aries. And then again, later this week, we'll have the moon in it as well. And we also have the asteroid Chiron in Aries, and it's been there for quite a while. So even though Aries is this movement of the cycle, it's the astrological new year, we have this really big Aquarius element that's been with us since 2020 and is going to continue to be very strong for the next 20 years, really. We also have Pisces. We still have Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, and they're actually going to make a conjunction coming up this month that they haven't made in over 100 years. So a lot of potential, a lot of power, a lot of magic. And when I was looking into the elements and energies for this cycle, I just started thinking about the Fool energy in tarot. And part of that what popped in was because the Aries new moon will be on April Fool's Day, right? Like one of those sort of pseudo holidays we have. And so the Fool is the 0 card in tarot, traditional tarot. I don't work a lot with traditional tarot. I actually really love the Mother Piece tarot. And the Mother Piece Fool card is a little bit different. But I was looking through, there it is. I was looking through it. And so actually I wanted to start our circle today with reading just a little bit about the energy of the Fool when the Fool comes into the space, because the astrological new year is also the beginning of a new astrological cycle, Pisces, where we just were and where Jupiter and Neptune are. And the Pisces will continue to play because both Mars and Venus still have to go through Pisces in their cycle. And so we'll have Jupiter and Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces for a while. Jupiter will shift into Aries in May. So there will be this play on things merging, ending, and then this awakening into Aries. But so Aries starts the new astrological year. And so it really is the beginning of the Fool's journey, or the hero's journey, which is talked a lot about in archetype and mythology. And so every year at this point, we actually launch into a new 12 months. We enter the first house in astrology, and I'll speak to that a little bit more in a moment. Because of course, as we know, I could just talk this entire time, but I really do want to emphasize certain elements to carry into our practice today and carry into this cycle. So just take a moment. You can sit still, you can move, you can wiggle around, but this is from the Mother Piece, A Way to the Goddess Through Myth, Art, and Tarot by my dear friend and teacher, Vicki Noble. When you get the Fool in a tarot reading, it is probably best to let go of any desire to be sophisticated in your approach, because the time is right for your kid to emerge. If you try to hang on to logic or rationality, you are likely to get stuck in a hard place. Since the Fool is about pure spontaneity, better get in touch with your unacknowledged impulses and unprepared responses to the world. The Fool is generally very light and joyful, reaching back in time to a paradise of simple freedom where all energy is good energy. Has any of us wholly and finally discarded the belief in such a golden age, in a realm where sin or guilt have no sway? The fool is the part of you who, paradoxically, does not worry about being foolish, and at the same time is probably more open to the accusation. Fools pick up feathers or special rocks at the beach and know they contain magic. They read the cards in future. They read the future in cards. They feel touched by the goddess personally and individually when something special happens. Why do fools fall in love, they say? And why do they walk off cliffs of hard truth into open space? The fool is truly the part of you who just doesn't care what other people think or how things look. The fool moves from within you. It is not the clear, calm voice of the inner sage that moves you, but the carefree, irrational impulse, the irrepressible surge of energy that propels you into something. Maybe you know better. Maybe there are logical reasons to exercise caution, make plans, be careful. But the fool enjoys a charming, playful sense of life, a willingness to experience things. When the fool is acting through your life, you throw caution to the wind, or rather to the life breath that the fool represents. You let it carry you where it will. So that energy of trust and the moving from that primal urge is kind of a nice way to bring Aquarius and Aries together, because Capricorn, which is a big energy we've been moving away from, is very responsible, very mature, very methodical. And then Aquarius is the higher consciousness, the higher mind. It's the rebel, it's the visionary. And then Aries, being the first sign of the zodiac, is the inner child. It's also associated with the warrior, but that warrior energy of bravery, of courage, and also aligned with trust and innocence. The shadow of Aries is arrogance and ego and impulsiveness. And so this particular energy can either be channeled that way, or we can channel it into humor and play and embodying that trusting, magical, sort of innocent energy of the fool. And Venus, as I mentioned, is in Aquarius, and she's conjuncting the moon tomorrow. And this is a very sacred portal, ancient portal, as she moves down through the morning star. And the morning star phase is the warrioress, the warrior energy. So that's an extra added to the kind of warriors we want to be in the world. And in a sense, the fool is part of that warriorship. There's a specific kind of fool that's talked about in a lot of indigenous myth that would literally ride backwards into battle with like a broken lance, because they trusted the power of the universe. They trusted that energy to protect them. And so as we come into this really big conjunction of Aquarius that's happening right now, Pisces that's coming up, and then everything that's sort of shifting into Aries, is like, can we really allow ourselves to step into that fool, that zero, that beginning this new cycle? In astrology, the year is broken up into 12 houses. So basically our view of the universe is like these 12 petals with us in the center, and each petal is represented by the zodiac sign. So even if you aren't an Aries, this time of year, we are in the first house. And the first house in astrology is considered to be really important because it is the ascendant or the rising sign. It is the personal identity project for this lifetime. There are, different ideas in astrology around the first house. Some people refer to it as like more of a mask you wear, or something you just sort of like are trying on, like it's something that's sort of superficial. But a lot of other astrology really thinks that it's much more important. It's one of the most important placements. And part of that is because the rising sign changes every 2 hours. So where the sun is in a sign for 30 days, or the moon is in a sign for 2.5 days, or Saturn's in a sign for years, right? It's like every 2 hours. So your ascendant has that impulse of Aries. Aries is like the striking of the match, right? It's like that, it's cardinal fire. It wakes up the season. And so the what's coming up on the horizon changes so quickly. And that's why it's so personal. Your ascendant is so personal. And in my experience, and in a lot of the charts that I've read, when I've looked at different placements, the ascendant really is something that we are moving towards. Our soul wants to experience. So no matter who you are, where you are, when we get to this Aries point, this sort of zero point, this reset, and especially depending on the other aspects around us, we really get that like, okay, what is my soul here to do? What is the adventure? What is the exploration? And coming back into that beginner's mind, that trusting, innocent, courageous, humorous, playful quality, the rebel, the warrior, but moving forward from that, letting that impulse carry us and not allowing it to turn into this, inflamed ego battle that maybe a lot of us are seeing in the world. Like there is a lot of inflammation in the world, and Aries can either make that more or it can move us into this other aspect. And so that's really resonant with me, and I hope it is with you. So as we move into the cycle, as I said, today, right now, we are in this stellium of Aquarius with the moon and Saturn and Mars and Venus. Tomorrow, moon and Venus make their exact conjunction. Actually, Venus is moving. She moves down the chakras during morning star, 7 gates, 7 conjunctions, and then up during the evening star in her big cycles that she creates. And we're actually moving into the 5th chakra. And the 5th chakra is connected to Aquarius, where all this other energy is. It's our voice, it's our expression, it's our purification. So this month, like I said, there's that strong Aquarius, Aries energy with this Piscean flavor behind it as well. And really an opportunity, really an opportunity to choose consciously that Fool perspective, that trust and courage and innocence, and moving from this place of let's try it, why not, right? So curiosity, play, that inner warrior. The new moon, as I mentioned, is on April Fool's Day, so again, that ignition of the Fool. And then Venus will enter Pisces on the 5th, and so she'll finally leave Mars and Saturn, and she and Mars have been together for a while. Mercury's in Aries today, and it's not staying there very long, actually shifts into Mercury on the 10th. And then the 11th and 12th, some pretty big energies. We have a Saturn squaring the North Node, which is Taurus, Taurus and Aquarius, and that's been a dynamic conversation this year. And then on the 12th, we have the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Pisces. And then the full moon this month is on the 16th, which is in Libra, which is the opposite energy of Aries. So Aries is, again, that impulse, that Fool, that personal journey. And then Libra is about the we and about the us and the partnership and the energy of the lovers, if you're familiar with that in tarot, of balancing that out. So the more we can tap into that inner impulse, that creative, joyful impulse as we move towards the full moon, hopefully we can then expand the Aquarian expansion of the we and how to balance out that fire and air. So as always, being gentle with yourself during these intense times. Things are continuing to rapidly change around us on the planet, politically, globally. And so where you can bring in play and trust and impulse. So again, if the impulse is to harm, we might want to check back in that, because again, the Fool's journey is very personal, very much about our own inner elf, our own inner child. And while of course the inner child can be mischievous or, even throw a tantrum or two, it's like we are bringing in that play and magic and expansion. So a lot going on. Let's start to ground it in our bodies. So we're actually going to bring ourselves up to stand and give yourself some space to stand and just start to move your body. So in traditional medical astrology, Aries is the head. So that fire we get in the head. So try to let your head and your neck go. Aquarius is the circulatory system. And in terms of the chakras, the energetic chakras, fire is the solar plexus, air and sound are the heart and the throat. So there is sort of this portal of energy right now between the solar plexus up to the head and down. So we do want to use a little bit of energy to ground, to get in our bodies, to get outside. So just start to move and maybe wiggle your jaw around, shake your head out. Just think about how the way like children move, they're like rubber. Their bodies are just like, ah. And yeah, let's make a little sound. Ah, move your jaw. So again, think that inner child, inner elf, inner Fool. And just start to loosen things up. And so opening up the throat chakra is really important this week. So working with affirmations, songs, mantras, writing out goals, stories, silly things, saying them out loud, or just very consciously being silent. If you are someone who talks a lot, like myself, like having those times of stillness. And speaking of, just sort of settle into your bones, into your position. And just give your head a little shake side to side. So we want to keep the inflammation in the head flowing down through the throat, down through the body. So we don't want things to get stuck in our head. That happens a lot. Aries is often connected to as well to the ram, right? So what does a ram do? It literally like jams its head into everything. So relax the head, relax the neck. Let's just do a little humming. Take a big breath in, keep moving the head. And then again. One more time. Stretch your mouth out. You can take your hands, massage your jaw, around your face, your neck, so then the connection between the head and the neck. So if you get up early tomorrow morning, you should be able to see that conjunction. And like I said, there's Mars is out right now too. Mars, Venus, Saturn, all in Aquarius. Like I said, today Mercury moved into Aries. So we have even our communication, our thinking, right? We want to bring that more into that innocent fool mindset rather than the more aggressive warrior. Go ahead, relax it, let it go. And then just take a moment to close your eyes and feel your body. So when the sun enters Aries, which happened last week, we activate the March equinox. And the equinox, it happens twice a year in March and September with the Aries cycle and Libra cycle. And it's the equal day, equal night point on the wheel. Before, for us in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving into spring, for the Southern Hemisphere into autumn, and then vice versa in September. And because we had that equinox point just a couple days after the full moon, we're really spending this first week and a half in the waning cycle, which encourages us to really settle into balance before we launch into that Aries energy. So another reason this equinox sort of felt like that 0 point for me, which actually that's what activates that as we move into 0 degrees Aries, and that's the Fool. And so can you bring yourself into the center of your own space? And so you can see the equinox and solstice points like a compass, right? With the equinox balancing and then the north and south node of the solstices. And so anytime we meet these points, we have that opportunity to pause and find center. And as the Fool teaches us, you don't know where center is unless you fall off the edge, fall off the ledge. And in a lot of the tarot, the Fool is stepping off a cliff, stepping off an edge with that perfect love and trust. And so maybe let yourself shift side to side, front and back, almost to the point that you're going to fall back forward, side to side. Doesn't have to be that big. And you can play with closing your eyes. So anytime we close our eyes and move, we also have to rely on that trust of gravity, of musculature, of our bones. And so let yourself move around enough times that eventually you find center. Place a hand to heart, a hand to belly. And just take a moment to honor the season that is passing. So in the Northern Hemisphere, we are releasing the winter, the wisdom of winter. As we enter the innocence of spring, in the Southern Hemisphere, you're releasing the potency of summer for the surrender of fall. And we allow ourselves to feel ourselves in this space of balance, of center, the Aries energy beginning to stir around us. Fire energy is transformation, alchemy, intuition. So we move like the Fool who is filled with so much trust and curiosity and innocence and courage that they're willing to take some risks. in a playful way, in a humorous way, in a curious way, not in an aggressive, harmful way. So activating that energy in the body as we stand in this space between the seasons, the directions, the elements, the sky, the earth, the elements, all the energies, the trust and innocence that we all have, knowing that we are part of this beloved system, beloved cycle, this new astrological cycle. And the sky above us, earth below us, the elements all around and within us, feeling your own personal guides, guardians, allies, ancestors, the energies of the lands, offering gratitude. And again, whatever prayer in the heart for trust, innocence, curiosity, courage, passion, as we light this match, as we spark this next season. Take a big breath in and out. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sun. Exhale, draw down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, stretch the body over to the left. Really reaching over to one side and then bring it up and to the other. Good. And then reach it up and then bow to the earth, down. And then roll it up. Big stretch. Inhale. As you exhale, twist to the left, gazing behind. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the right. Good. Bring it up. Bend the elbows out to the sides and exhale, stick out the tongue. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach up. Stretch to the right. Really reach. And then bring it up. And then stretch to the left. Lift it up, fold to the earth. Roll it up, reach to the sky, twist to the right, look behind. Inhale up, twist to the left, look behind. Inhale up, bend the elbows, stick out the tongue. Another round like that. Inhale, exhale left. Inhale, and right. Inhale, exhale below. Inhale, reach above. Exhale, behind. Bring it up. Exhale, behind. Inhale up, lion's breath through the heart. Last time, reach up. Side bend, stretch. Other side, stretch. Good, down to the earth. Reach it up. Stretch behind. Bring it up. Other side. Bring it up. Lion's breath. So roll the shoulders down and back both ways. And then just start to march. And move your arms. So with that purpose of the warrior, fool, trust and innocence, shake out your head, soften your jaw, feel free to let out a little hum. Start to feel the energy of the body. Shake your head. And then all of a sudden, pause, lift a knee, hold, and then twist towards that knee. Bring it back to center. Continue your march. Marching along, shake it out, sing a tune. And then try to hold that other side. Hold, and twist. Bring it back and march. Keep marching, maybe bring it up a little bit more, or maybe slow it down, get a little energy going. And then hold one leg up. Twist. Bring it back. Release. March. Nice and slow, or medium, or fast. Opposite leg, hold. Twist. Bring it back. March. Slow it down. Shake your head. Side out. Slow it down. Slow it down. Take your hands to your belly. Soften. Shift your hips side to side. You're going to start to make a little circle. Feel the heart. So it is good in Aries season to get that heart rate up a little bit, even just a couple minutes of more active movement, a little bit of fire, a little bit playful. Playful, go for a little jog outside or walk in the sun. Reverse the direction of your hips. Come back to center, feet are about as wide as the mat. Left foot where it is, we're going to step the right foot back wide for warrior one. So hands to hips, or maybe your warrior reaches up, or you have your hands at the heart. Just take a couple breaths. So bring those qualities of trust, innocence, visionary into the warrior. Maybe open your arms like a vessel, like a chalice. Take a big breath. We're going to find that lion's breath again. Stick out the tongue. Inhale. Release it down, step up, shake it out, give it a good shake. And then we'll switch sides. So feet nice and comfortably wide for warrior one. I like the feet at least shoulder distance. Step the opposite foot back, keep that distance. Gently bend the front knee, square your hips. Hands to hips, heart, reach up, or even again, that wide vessel. Give a little smile, open the head, the throat, let that fire flow through the body. Big breath in, lion's breath. Step it up, shake it out, shake it out. And then again, a little march. Just nice and casual, steady, like a nice gentle walk through the meadow, through the hills. What are you seeing outside today? Is it spring? Is it fall? Butterflies, birds, leaves. And then hold one leg up. Hold, breathe. Hands to heart or hands to hips. And then option to lift up slightly on that other heel. Woo. And then release. And then march it out. I was hiking with my son today, perfect inspiration for this. And the way, again, he hikes and moves, he runs, he jumps, he doesn't have a methodical hike. I've developed other side, hold. Hands stay at hips or heart, or lift that opposite heel and release. Good, shake it out. So maybe again, look around at children and animals. They know how to tap into that fool. Okay, bring it back to center. Point your toes forward. Close your eyes. Shift around, arrive at your center. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit of buzzing in your cells. Your heart's a little elevated, a little brighter energy. Fire energy does need to move, but again, fire can be destructive and aggressive. So appropriate heat. Get that curiosity and creativity going. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. And just take a moment here, shake out that head. I always imagine emptying out my head in this position. You can also fold over a bed or a chair if it's a little too much to fold over your legs. Really just shake your head out. Then you can stay here. If it's appropriate for your knees to come into child's pose, we'll spend a few minutes here. So if you can make this cozy, put a blanket under your knees, grab a block or pillow, or a supported child's pose. If not, stay in that standing forward fold, or you could take any other forward fold of your choice. We're talking about the inner child, the fool. We'll spend a few minutes in an optional supported child's pose, or again, whatever forward fold feels good. If you're in child's pose, you can have your forehead down or turn your head to one side. And just slow down your breath. So we call this pose child's pose because we place the head below the heart. So we move from the heart. which is often considered what children do. So as you take a few breaths in child's pose or whatever pose, again, feels like you can kind of connect to that wisdom. I'm going to read that little excerpt again. When you get the Fool in a reading, it is probably best to let go of any desire to be sophisticated in your approach, because the time is right for your kid to emerge. If you try to hang on to logic or rationality, you're likely to get stuck in a hard place. Since the Fool is about pure spontaneity, better get in touch with your unacknowledged impulses and unprepared responses to the world. The Fool is generally very light and joyful, reaching back in time to a paradise of simple freedom, where all energy is good energy. Has any of us wholly and finally discarded the belief in such a golden age in a realm where sin or guilt have no sway? The Fool is the part of you who, paradoxically, does not worry about being foolish, and at the same time is probably more open to the accusation. Fools pick up feathers or special rocks at the beach and know they contain magic. They read the future in cards, feel touched by the goddess personally and individually when something special happens. Why do fools fall in love? And why do they walk off cliffs of hard truth into open space? The Fool is truly the part of you who just doesn't care what other people think or how things look. The Fool moves from within you. It is not the clear, calm voice of the inner sage that moves you, but the carefree, irrational impulse, the irrepressible surge of energy that propels you into something. Maybe you know better. Maybe there are logical reasons to exercise caution, make plans, be careful. But the Fool enjoys a charming, playful sense of life, a willingness to experience things. When the Fool is acting through your life, you throw caution to the wind, or rather to the life breath that the Fool represents. You let it carry you where it will. Take another big, big breath. Sigh it out. So where will the Fool carry you this astrological new year? This new cycle that begins with all of this Aquarius energy and Pisces energy, all the changes and magic afoot. We'll move into journey from here. So take your time, move in any other way. And then we'll start to shift into a position for a guided meditation. So depending on your body or your practice, that might look like laying on your back in what we often use in yoga as Shavasana. You could take your legs up the wall. You could lay over pillows and blankets, whatever it is that will really let you feel supported and open, so that we can kind of go on that Fool's journey a little bit into this cycle. So take the next couple minutes to get anything you need. It can be really nice to have an eye cover for your eyes or for your body. And just really set yourself up comfortably, or however, if you want to sit, lie down, take your legs up, really get cozy, because we are here for about 20 minutes. So give yourself some space. You are working with any crystals. Citrine is a lovely one for Aries. Usually any of the reds, yellows for the crystals can be really nice for Aries. And start to lengthen your breath. So Aquarius is an air element. It's a fixed air element. So really long, slow breaths. And also the full moon in Libra is also in the air, and that's a balanced breath. So as you start to connect to your breath, I want to invite you to count it out to balance. So ideally, the inhale and exhale are the same length. So you might try inhaling for 3 and exhaling for 3, or 4, or 5, or 6 or 7 or 8 or 2. So there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. Just trying to balance the breath. So the inhale and exhale are the same length. Just let that start to bring you into the practice. Even breath in and even breath out. extend that breath a little bit more, really letting your body experience the balance of the most life force on the inhale and the most emptiness on the exhale. One of my teachers often reminds that even though, like in the Northern Hemisphere, we're entering spring, for a little bit of time, it's still equal light and dark, equal energy coming in and moving out. And that's why the transformation of Aries is so potent, because we are still half light, half dark. But that light feels so strong because it is the spark, it's the cardinal fire. It is the light that protects the cosmic order in the language of shamanic astrology. The warrior, the fool, the lone wolf, the pioneer. These are all archetypes of Aries, the warrior goddess, the wild woman, the wild man, or a wild person. So as you lengthen the breath, we access that life force, that spark. We let it move through us. The same way that when you strike a match or flick a lighter, it only will last so long before it'll burn you and it burns out. And so our time in Aries is kind of that way. As I said, even Mercury is here for a very short time because it's that spark. It sparks enough to get us back to zero, get us back to the beginning, shows us this new path, and then it fizzles out. And we want to get that vision, get that message before we get burnt. And so as we settle into this practice, honoring the visionary energy of Aquarius, specifically Venus and the moon conjuncting in Aquarius and the fifth chakra, along with having Mars and Saturn and some other amazing asteroids holding that energy. And then our stellium of Aries, Sun, Mercury, Chiron, soon to be the moon. And then our sacred Pisces, still holding Jupiter and Neptune. And of course, other elements abound as well. We're always part of this big cycle. There's always things happening in the different realms and energies. But for today, we can only hold so many in this journey. So letting go of everything but the breath, lengthening the breath, letting your body relax, letting the body come back to zero, to neutral. So the more you lengthen the breath, the more we send the signal to the mind and the body to relax, to come back to balance. A whole new astrological new year begins, and we really feel that seed on the Aries new moon. So we are in this transformative space right now, holding the equinox. Allow the breath to release, and then take a big, big breath in. As you inhale, squeeze your face, your head, squeeze your hands, squeeze your belly. So squeeze and hold as much tension as you can. Hold, and then let it go. Let it go. Feel the back of the body on the earth. The front of the body open to the air. Feel to the sides. Again, remembering that you are in the center of your own circle, the space between the directions, the elements, the sky, the earth, guides, guardians, ancestors, angels. And again, offer a prayer of guidance, of support, trust, innocence, curiosity for yourself during this time, for your loved ones, for all beings of the earth. And we invoke the Fool. We invoke the Fool. Feel into your body and call in the Fool. Ask that Fool, that inner Fool, to awaken. Begin to say, I am the Fool. I am the Fool. I am the Fool. in your body. When you say, I am the fool, I am the fool, call that in over and over as you let any old, outdated ideas or concepts around that title to move through you, to clear out. I am the fool. Until you feel that sense of trust and innocence and curiosity. Say it over and over and over as the body relaxes in this sacred space under the waning moon. I am the fool. I am the fool. Welcoming this energy into your bones, into your body. This 0 point, this rebirth, renewal. Again, over and over again, call in that fool, call to the fool, claim that fool until you feel it come alive. And when you feel that fool, what color is it? What qualities, what energies, where in your body is that energy awakened from? Where has that fool been hiding all winter or summer, depending on where you are? Where has that fool been? When was the last time you allowed that fool, that trusting, innocent, faithful, courageous, curious, passionate fool to fuel your journey? And as you feel that, as you amplify that foolishness, let's move that through the body. So whatever feeling, color, energy that is, let's create a web of this fool energy through the body. Almost like we're creating this inner web or shield that we can move from this cycle, moving out of our usual ways of thinking and being and acting the fool. Feel into that inner fool and then move that energy into the space between the eyebrows. Feel it activate the space between the eyebrows. And then it slides into the hollow of the throat. And down to your right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of the right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Back into the wrist, elbow, shoulder, hollow of the throat. Move the energy into the left shoulder, elbow, wrist, tip of the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Back through the wrist, elbow, shoulder, hollow of the throat. Down into the center of the heart, to the right side of the heart, back to the center, to the left side, back to center, down into the solar plexus, down into the navel center, a few inches below the belly button, and then into the right hip, right knee, right ankle, tip of the big right toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, back up through right ankle, knee, hip, navel center, a few inches below the belly button, left hip, left knee, left ankle, reaching to the tips of the left toes, big toe, second, third, fourth, and pinky. Back up through the left ankle, knee, hip, navel center, and then up into the solar plexus, center of the heart, hollow of the throat, third eye. That web of energy through the body. Then move up to the crown of your head. Sense the crown of your head, the space of the crown of your head. And then feel the space again around the third eye, the physical eyes, the midbrain. Sensing this space. And then travel down to the mouth, the ears, the throat, the neck. Feeling this space of the neck, the throat, the mouth, the ears. And then travel back into the heart and feel out into your hands, your arms. feeling the base of your spine, and your legs down to your feet, feeling the feet, the legs, the base of the spine. And again, feel the base of your spine. And then as you inhale, can you breathe from the base of the spine to the crown of the head? And as you exhale from the crown of the head to the base of the spine, just follow a few breaths up the central channel, up the chakra system from the root to the crown and back again. Moving this energy through the central channel. Breathing up from the root to the crown, crown to root. Clearing that pathway for the inner fool to dance and climb and move. Helping the breath to clear out any stagnant or excess energy. Anything that keeps that free flow, free fall of the fool through the cycle. So imagining maybe that color that you associated with the fool or the energy to flow from the base of the spine to the crown and back, creating this channel to travel energetically, physically, emotionally, renewal, rebirth of the inner fool. And then allow that energy to move back up into the space between the eyebrows. And imagine inhaling through the third eye and exhaling through the throat. Inhaling third eye, exhaling the throat. So concentrating on the pathway that Venus is making from the third eye to the throat. Inhaling third eye, exhaling through the throat. Feel that change in energy from the vision, Aquarius vision, into the expression, communication, clearing the pathway between the third eye and the throat. And then imagine just breathing in and out of your throat, which we do. The breath travels through the mouth, the esophagus. But really focus on the throat. And imagine in the throat a blue light. Breathing in and out of blue light in the throat. This blue light shines through your ears, your teeth, your jaw, down your throat. It can shine up towards the midbrain and down through your heart. Imagine this beautiful blue light in your throat, radiating out in all directions, like an orb. And as this orb pulses and expands, notice that it feels very hot and there's a heat coming out of this blue orb, this heat moving through your body, this fiery heat, purifying, transforming. Feel the heat move through the central channel from the throat. And then it becomes very cold, like it's a blue ball of ice radiating through your throat, out through your body, this cold ice in the throat. Melting. And it releases. The temperature releases, and again you feel this blue light in the throat. And then it gets very, very, very dark, very dark, turning almost black, super, super dark, the light getting dimmer and dimmer. And then it becomes so light, like an electrical current, illuminating from the inside out. And then again, it settles. This beautiful blue ball of light in your throat, balancing from the inside out. And as you feel into this blue ball in the throat, what happens when you feel like you are stuck? You don't know what to say, you can't speak up, you don't know where to go. What happens to that blue ball of light when you feel stuck? Again, does it get cold, hot, dark, light? What changes in that blue light when you feel stuck? You don't know where to go, you don't know what to do. changed in that ball of light where you feel inspired? You are inspired to act, to move, to be still. There's a sense of inspiration guiding you. You feel inspired. This ball of light is filled with inspiration. What changes in that ball of light is it is inspired. And let that go. Let it go. Just feel that ball of blue light in your throat pulsing as you breathe. And allow your attention to move into that ball as though it were a crystal ball and you were looking into it. You're looking deeper and deeper into this beautiful blue ball, blue light. And as you look deeper and deeper, you suddenly see a scene, a landscape emerging. You drop into it. You see a beautiful natural landscape, maybe mountains, valleys, fields, the ocean. It doesn't matter. It is the season that it is now. So spring in the northern hemisphere, autumn in the southern. There is the tiniest sliver of the dark moon, the waning moon in the sky. And you see a figure walking, marching, skipping through this landscape. And as you look closer and closer, you see it is your inner fool. And maybe this fool is you, younger, older, the age you are now, smaller, bigger. Maybe there's something completely different. And you allow yourself to see this fool embodied, to see its clothing, its items. What is it carrying? Who are they? And you watch them. Are they singing a song? Are they dancing? Are they quiet? All your attention moves into this image, in this blue orb, this blue ball of your inner fool out on a walk on this beautiful seasonal day. You are able to approach them. You are able to have a conversation with them. And now this is the time that you can choose how you might want to engage with this inner fool. Do you want to ask them a question? Do you want to ask if they have a message? You just want to watch them and embody their energy. You just want to follow them for a while. Maybe they have something to show you. This is your journey, and it is just beginning. So give yourself a few moments with this inner fool. Allow them to connect with you or not. Observe them. Know that you can always drop into this space to see them. Allow yourself to connect, to watch. Maybe ask for their help. Ask for a suggestion. Oftentimes they do speak in song or riddle or rhyme or symbol. There's no good or bad or right or wrong. There's no way to do this perfectly or imperfectly. And as you connect with that inner fool, receiving the message, the guidance, offering gratitude, noticing how you feel in this space, the trust and innocence, curiosity, courage. And you again begin to repeat, I am the fool. I am the fool. I am the fool. And as you repeat it, you merge with this energy. They merge with you, and the blue light fills every aspect of the being, sealing in this sacred journey. Blue light fills and dances and merges, renewing, restoring, inspiring, awakening, activating this new yourself merging in this energy, sealing it in. Connect to your body on the earth. Feeling that circle all around you, within you, the center of the wheel, as this wheel turns, an equal point of light and dark under the waning moon, under this Aquarian stellium and Aries season 2022. We are all the Fool. We are all the warrior Fool. We are all aligned with our own unique, individual, personal projects in this lifetime, and they are all part of the collective dance. The ascendant, the first house, is one of the best hints we have about what our soul wants to journey into in this life. And we are the Fool because it is new. The ascendant is a new energy, or even a new vibration of it, if it's a sign that you have in other places. So can we move into this new cycle with continuing change and unknown and upheaval through the eyes, the laughter, the voice of the Fool? Redefining this archetype and this visionary cycle of rebellion and awakening. Take a big, big, big breath in and let out some sound out your mouth. Start to move your head, let that energy move through the head. Start to wiggle and stretch, move in any way you want, or rest on your side. When you're ready, you can come up and jot a couple things down in your journal, where you can just do a little movement side to side or forward and back, just grounding. And so the ritual is very simple because Aries is such a fast energy and there is a lot happening right now. And so when you feel centered, and so the invitation, you can do this as much as you want this month, and especially as we get closer to April 1st, even just a few minutes, moving the body, connecting to the breath. Let yourself feel centered, that balanced breath, that balance between light and dark, and the movement of the wheel. And then you can light a candle. Use a first match or the lighter to light a candle. Just give yourself maybe a couple moments to sit with that dancing flame, reminding us of that jumping, dancing, marching Fool. And then when you feel centered, you will simply take a match or a lighter. And as you strike it, you will say, I am the Fool. And then you will gaze at that, take that in. Notice if there's any message or symbol. And then you can play a little bit with whether you blow it out or if you wait for it to burn out before it burns your fingers. Get a little, obviously, safe risk. You kind of, oh, that's so no. For a second, I thought I'd grab one that didn't have a thing. I was like, oh, that's funny. You can look for that, right? The trickster warrior, the Fool warrior who goes into battle backwards. When you feel centered, I am the Fool. Just stay with that as you gaze at the flame, as you watch it travel down, or look for any symbol, or maybe imagine it purifying your throat chakra. Again, you can listen to your instinct, and when it feels right, wave it out, blow it out. Again, watch the smoke disperse. That's the Libra. Notice the smells, the scents. And then when you feel ready, just say thank you. The Fool is grateful for all the magic and miracles. Thankful for the spark Thankful for the gifts, the play, and welcoming that inner child, welcoming those sparks of insight. Get outside, get under the moon as the moon starts to wax. Place your hands over your heart or your belly or any way that feels good. Thank the inner Fool. And there's something to be said. The more we work with the inner Fool, maybe the less we will inadvertently act, in a foolish way that can be harmful, right? And so everything has its shadow and light qualities, and especially Aries is a fire sign. So when we tend to honor and offer our fools little journeys, little magic visits, and reconnect to that, again, we're less likely to act out in ways that can be harmful. So may this be a cycle of renewal. Right now, there is a lot of pressure with Saturn, Venus, Mars, the moon, all in this Aquarian energy, and that movement from vision to expression can be powerful. Again, tend to your head, your neck this week, move your body, sweat consciously, dance, sing. Let that move through you. Use your voice in positive ways. Again, songs, rhymes, jokes, poetry. See what happens. Big, big breath in. Inside out, and offering gratitude to the elements, the directions, the guides, guardians, angels, allies, ancestors. Thank you for your presence in our practice today. Please continue to be with us, guide us on this new journey through the astrological wheel. May this practice benefit us, our soul journey, our loved ones, all beings in the world, and all those suffering at this time. Thank you, thank you. All blessings be. Thank you for practicing with me today. As always, if you have questions, comments, insights, you are more than welcome to message me. Donations are also appreciated through Venmo, PayPal, and I can always get you that information. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Wishing you so much love and so many blessings through this month. And I hope to see you soon. Take care.